all of a sudden you've had this child placed in your arms and you're in a taxi going back to your hotel. She would force herself away from you. She didn't want to be near you. If you're wanting a family, it's the most amazing experience you can ever have.
We're in Southbridge, which is in between Christchurch and Ashburton, and we're here because we've been invited to a party.
Happy birthday, dear Vasuda.
It's a 7th birthday dinner for Vasuda Roberts. How do you like your curry, Vasuda?
Super duper spicy.
Really?
The spiciest thing in the world.
Celebrated here at what they say is the best Indian restaurant around. Does it sort of surprise you that there's still that taste for the hot curry?
It doesn't really. It's in bread. It's like, yeah, Vasuda likes the hottest. And I just think it's maybe something that comes from in utero that, yeah, it's just there.
A taste for spice she never lost from when she began life in India.
Okay, photo time.
This family snap is a world away from where life began for Vasuda and her older sister, Krisma.
I was born in Calcutta and I was in an orphanage, and when my mum and dad came to pick me up.
So how old were you then?
I think I was 2 or 3.
From the streets of Calcutta, an old woman brought her to the orphanage. No one knows what happened to Vasuda in the first 2 years of her life.
I was from an orphanage with Mother Teresa, and she was there and looking after me. And I was in a big room with heaps of cots and other children in there. My birth mum, she had a broken leg and she couldn't look after me, so she put me in the orphanage because she thought it was best.
We didn't know a lot. Mainly we just knew that, you know, she was placed into an orphanage on Christmas Day, that Christmas means miracle.
Why do you think your mum and dad wanted you to come into their family?
Because Mum and Dad tried to once have a baby, but it didn't work, so they just decided they might have just adopt us.
Mm-hmm.
And Krisma got adopted first and then it was me.
Chris and Carol always planned to have children of their own.
I was 20 when we married, so we figured that, okay, if we're going to get pregnant, we'll get pregnant and, you know, we're married, it doesn't matter, we'll start early, but it didn't happen.
After 10 years, including an ectopic pregnancy, 3 rounds of IVF, countless drugs and operations, still no children.
Huge ups and downs, yeah. The whole, yeah, it's a roller coaster ride. It's huge, your emotions, your whole, and in the meantime you've got friends that are having children, having babies, and I'd have, you know, and for them it was really difficult too. They sort of felt like they couldn't share their joy of you know, being pregnant because, you know, they were worried how I would feel. So I said to us, well, why don't we look at going overseas to adopt?
Was that a hard decision to make?
Yeah, financially we knew it would be difficult, but at the end we would hope that we would have a child.
Do you know where in India you come from?
Hyderabad, it's right in the middle of India.
It took almost a year for the paperwork to be organised before Chris and Carol arrived in India to meet their daughter.
Had you ever been there before?
No, and it was just, yeah, your whole senses are just completely sort of blown away. The smell, the heat, the people.
When you got to the orphanage, you saw Krisma for the first time. What was it like?
The sister brought out this little girl and, wow, just amazing, just beautiful. and then just handed her to me. So poor Charisma, all of a sudden confronted with two grown people, you know, white skin. How crazy was that, you know, rather than just letting her slowly get introduced to us. So I was handed Charisma, and from that moment she just screamed. So she screamed, and here am I, sort of, you know, tears rolling down my face and thinking, oh, she's so beautiful, she's ours. And this child arching her back, not wanting a bar of us, like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Today.
Finally, Carol had the family she'd always dreamed of, but it wasn't that simple.
I got post-adoption blues with Charisma.
Oh.
We had a rocking chair and I would sit and just rock her and feed her a bottle and trying to get eye contact and trying to get closeness because she would force herself away from you. She didn't want to be near you. But there was something inside me that said I had to keep going, and then eventually we started to get the eye contact. There was a connection happening there between us.
What was it like the moment you realised the bond?
Life-changing. It's like, yeah, this is what it's all about. This is why you do it. It's, yeah, pretty special.
I can't bike on the stone.
Now aged 7 and 11, Vasuda and Charisma live a pretty Kiwi lifestyle.
I see.
With some fairly typical interests.
Who's that? Up there? Straight up?
Justin Bieber.
If you got to say something to Justin, what would you say?
I love you so much, you need to marry me.
What do you think?
And some very normal sibling relations.
What's Charisma like as a big sister?
A pain in the butt.
Like all big sisters?
Not all. Sometimes she can be nice, sometimes she's so annoying.
Really?
Just your average family, according to a 7-year-old.
So compared to some of your friends at school, say, how's your family different?
Just like mine,
Just like yours?
but they're a bit nicer.
Hey, I've just met your mum and dad and they're really nice people.
But spend time with this family and you're likely to see life has a definite Indian twist. Down the road, the Roberts are meeting up with friends who have just returned from China.
Hello.
Rebecca, Marcus and their elder daughter Marliese got back just 2 weeks ago, where they adopted their second daughter, Samara.
So do people look at you and wonder what's going on?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Little bird.
You know, we just don't look at it that way. And for us, seeing a normal family or biological family is different.
Right now, you're the only friend I have.
Are there differences though when it comes to adoption?
There are. You don't get a baby. They don't come in with instructions, and you don't have the prenatal lessons beforehand. When you get handed a child, you get handed a child, and it's not normally a wee baby, it's a child. You know, one thing we do get is saying people coming up to Samara and Marliese going, oh, they're lucky that you did it. They're not the lucky ones, we're the lucky ones. You know, we've got a family out of it.
When we went to collect her from the orphanage, this is what she'd been dressed in.
It's been 10 years since Charisma arrived in New Zealand, but Carol's kept reminders of her girl's start in life.
So yeah, so that's their wee dresses. What have we got in here? We've just basically got, I've kept a folder for Vasuda particularly because with the needs that she has, just different assessments that we've had done for her.
What have you basically discovered through all of these tests?
I guess what it's come down to is that Vasuda has developmental coordination disorder, which is dyspraxia, reactive attachment disorder, sensory sensitivities with anxiety, and because of that history of early deprivation.
What's unknown about Vasuda's first 2 years of life has led to a little girl with both developmental and behavioural problems.
Vasuda doesn't typically trust adults, she doesn't trust authority. She's constantly trying to be in control, and that's her take on life, I guess, is that, you know, yeah, I haven't had control in the past and I can't let it go now.
So we've been here for a few days now and we've seen just a gorgeous, well-behaved girl. How do you explain that?
Absolutely. Because I guess a lot of preparation went into before you came, is letting Vasuda know what was going to happen.
It made a big spill.
So what don't we see?
You don't see her, the way she screams at us and yells at us, we get told, you know, I don't like you, I hate you, you know, you're not my real family. I guess that's the hardest part with dealing with a child like that, is the anger. Like, where does it come from? How can you be so angry when you're only 6? You know, it's like, it's huge.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, woohoo, flying, look at that.
Today, Vasuda's at one of her regular appointments with her occupational therapist. She's working on her ongoing problems with movement and coordination.
You've got a lot to do with her physically. How is she emotionally?
That's really hard, because you're going to give her a cuddle and so she will either, one, swing her back to you so she doesn't have to make facial contact with you, or she will say to you, don't hug me, it hurts.
Do you get any signs of progress? Like what?
She said to me one day, it was my birthday, and I was walking down the hallway and she came up behind me and she said, I love you. She just whispered it. So that's the first time in 4 years that she's actually said, I love you. So that was really, really special.
So this whole adoption thing, it's not exactly easy?
No, it's not. But it's certainly, I wouldn't have not done it. No way, because we're a family. It doesn't matter that we look different, that we have different coloured skin. We're just a family.
Blue